Hey guys, New Jersey Piper Ben here. Coming to you from a chilly but sunny Saturday afternoon in northern New Jersey. Had some sort of crazy weather blow through last night. I know some people definitely got some snow. I saw Beans 316 had some snow in West Virginia this morning, and Luke the AA Pipe Man had some snow in Michigan yesterday, so kind of nuts for May, but I'll take it. I hate hot weather. So yeah, it's about 46 right now, and luckily the sun came out, but it looks like there's some clouds moving in. I am having some Escudo in my Costello billiard again. Just lit this up. Back in 2012, my then fiance, now wife, were living near St. Louis, Missouri. And she called me in the middle of the day, which was strange, but she was like, "Hey, did you enter to win a trip?" I'm like, "Yeah, probably." Because National Geographic was having these contests where you could win various trips and things. And the grand prize was like a 2-week excursion to somewhere like super exotic or far off, like a really expensive trip, but actually ended up winning one of the runners-up prizes. And the reason she was calling me was because I used her email address to enter, in addition to my email address as well, double entries, whatever. I never win stuff like that, so I didn't really... it was kind of shocking just to hear that we won, but we won a runners-up prize, which was 2 nights at a hotel in Big Sur, California. And it included the airfare, which is, the most expensive part. Well, actually, I'm not sure about that, because the hotel in Big Sur was very nice. It was called the Ventana Inn and Spa. And just a gorgeous property with really, really pretty views. And Big Sur is really sort of very quiet area. It's not very developed at all. Right there on the California coast, about an hour, maybe an hour, a little more south of San Francisco. The mileage isn't that crazy, but the road to get there is, pretty much 2-lane blacktop, twisting and winding around mountains, and obviously right along the coastline. It's probably the most beautiful place I've ever seen in my life. And it was, I believe, the end of April, beginning of May when we were there, so it's still a little bit chilly, but just starting to warm up enough to get out and actually enjoy the days. And the weather was gorgeous. But that was a fantastic time. And 2 nights is a bit short to go all the way from Missouri to California, but we did, I did book a couple of extra nights at a hotel in Monterey, at a place where I could actually afford to stay. The place in Big Sur was very nice and very expensive, but yeah, Monterey was probably about half an hour, I'd say, from Big Sur, and then another half an hour from San Francisco. And it's right there beside Carmel by the Sea, which is a really, really beautiful town, sort of like a affluent artists community, so to speak. But again, just everything around there was just gorgeous, and driving around and seeing the coastline and the parks along the coastline. They're like wildlife refuges, so lots of seals and things like that, and like tide pools. Just gorgeous, gorgeous stuff. But I remember we were headed back to the hotel after being out and about seeing stuff that day. And then got behind a Ferrari 458 and a Bentley Continental GT. And I love cars, so I'm just like, what are these guys doing? You know, headed down the 2-lane blacktop, and I get it in my head in my my Chevy Impala rental that I'm going to keep up with these guys. So that's what I try to do. And granted, on the straightaways, yeah, they were gone, but I never got to the point where I couldn't see their taillights, so I felt I had accomplished something. So that was a lot of fun. But yeah, when we got close to the hotel, they made a right, and then I made a left into my hotel, and I looked it up later, and the right is going to a place called the Post Ranch Inn, which was even nicer and more expensive than the place we were staying. And, you know, that's saying something, but it's closer to the ocean, so the views are even more magnificent, but still kind of elevated on a bluff, so you get like panoramic views of the ocean. But just, yeah, it's, man, that's a different sort of plane of existence if you can do something like that on your own dime. At least I won the trip, so, you know, definitely grateful for the opportunity, because again, that's still to this day probably the most beautiful area I've ever been in my life. And I think the crown jewel of that trip was Julia Pfeiffer Burns Park. And that's you've probably seen pictures of it, but that's the park. It's a short trail to the coast, and there's a waterfall that's emptying from the mountain right onto the beach, and it's a beautiful cove with like the turquoise water and rock formations and beautiful evergreen trees and stuff. But again, it's a very popular image you've probably seen in magazines and whatnot, or online, because, you know, who knows what a magazine is anymore. But yeah, that site was just utterly amazing, breathtaking. But I'll at the end of the video, I'll post some pictures I took while we were there, including that site. And as I'm sitting here, I mentioned earlier about clouds moving through. So they definitely moved through, and now there's frozen bits of something falling to the ground, which is kind of crazy, because my phone said it was 46, and that's about how it feels, so it definitely doesn't feel cold enough for this to be happening, but oh well. Glad I sat in my garage at least. But yeah, one of the things I want to do, and I think Chad Yardism mentioned that he might have done this before, or at least he was familiar with the Big Sur area. I want to fly to Los Angeles and rent a convertible and drive from LA to, let's say, Seattle would be ideal, but maybe at least like Portland. But I hear the road from Portland to Seattle is definitely beautiful, but it's not as easygoing a drive, especially if you're like on a motorcycle or something. But and not as continually sort of beautiful. Like there's a view like every 100 feet between San Francisco and Big Sur, but apparently that whole drive is pretty amazing, and it's like a pretty common bucket list trip people do. You know, just obviously taking the scenic route and, you know, extending the trip out to at least a week, I would say, to do the drive. At a nice leisurely pace. All right. Well, hope you guys are doing well. Still enjoying the Escudo very much. The Castello still doing well. I'm going to sit here and watch the snow, apparently. I can't imagine this is going to hang around too long. I'm going to flip the camera around and see if you guys can see it. I don't know if it's coming through very well with the contrast and everything, but yeah, it's actually fallen at a pretty decent amount. It's kind of crazy. Little baby snow, nothing nuts, but yeah, still pretty insane for May, I think. But yeah, I can't imagine this is going to last. I don't even think it showed up on my my phone's hourly sort of thing where it's telling you what it's going to do hour by hour. So it's probably going to be a little quick 15-minute thing and then gone. It'll be sunny again, hopefully. Knock on wood. But yeah, again, stay tuned for the cool pictures, and you guys have a fantastic rest of your weekend.